England is one of the oldest countries in the world, so it's no surprise that it is riddled with cultural history. Any village you drive through, any road you walk down, has some incredible history tied to it, with buildings dating back hundreds if not thousands of years, with buildings scattered around the country that were home to some of the most infamous people and crimes. So today on Top 5 Scary Videos, I'm going to be counting down our list of the top 5 scary haunted places in the UK. Let's jump in. Coming in at 5, Lancaster Castle. This medieval castle is located in Lancaster in the county of Lancashire, a place that will be making an appearance later on down our list. It is rumoured to have been founded back in the 11th century on the site of the Roman fort overlooking a crossing of the River Lune. It eventually came under royal control in 1164, and in 1322 and 1389, when the Scots invaded England, they progressed as far as Lancaster Castle, ultimately damaging it, with the castle seeing no further military action until the English Civil War. However, what makes this castle so infamous is its ties to witches. During the period 1584 to 1646, 15 Catholics were executed in Lancaster for their faith, with the notorious Pendle Witches trial taking place in the castle in 1612. The trials of the Pendle Witches are among the most famous witch trials in all of history. 12 people were accused of the murders of 10 people by the use of witchcraft, and were executed by hanging at the Lancaster Castle, hence why this castle is known as one of the most haunted places in the entire UK. Coming in at 4, Woodchester Mansion. Located in Woodchester Park in Gloucestershire, England, this Gothic revival mansion was left abandoned and unfinished back in the mid-1870s. The mansion's creator William Lee purchased the property for £100,000 in 1854, demolishing an existing house on the site called Spring Park, which had been home to the Ducey family and housed visitors such as George III. However, despite not having inhabitants, Woodchester is known for its abundance of paranormal activity. One incident occurred on the evening of October 7, 2005, when researchers attended the mansion for an overnight investigation in conjunction with Gloucestershire Paranormal Group. The first unexplainable event the group experienced was a perfect sphere of light the size of a 10-pence coin, which they say rapidly travelled the corridor before disappearing. The incident left some of the group utterly dazed, with some experiencing a strong feeling of deja vu. The second occurrence found the corridor dimly illuminated for 3 seconds by a strange blue glow that descended from the rafters. The group managed to capture these strange sightings on video, and no one has yet to be able to explain it as anything other than a ghostly haunting. Coming in at 3, Bury Pomeroy Castle, Devon. Built in the late 15th century by the Pomeroy family, this Tudor mansion is near the village of Bury Pomeroy in South Devon, England, aka where my family lives. Shout out fam. Now this castle has an interesting story because by 1547 the family were facing financial difficulties and sold the lands to Edward Seymour, Duke of Somerset, who was ultimately executed, but the land still remained with his family, up until it was abandoned in the late 17th century when the 4th Baronet moved to Wiltshire. The castle sat in ruins for 100 years until it became celebrated as an example of picturesque, and in turn a popular tourist attraction which it still remains to this day. However, what makes it more famous throughout the UK is its reputation for being haunted. Between the years of 1980 to 1996, the castle was subjected to extensive excavations that clarified much of its history and aided in more and more legends surrounding the property and its former owners. 2 female ghosts are said to haunt the castle, the White Lady and the Blue Lady. The Blue Lady is said to beckon for help from passers-by, luring them to the tower which, if they follow, will lead to their death. She is also said to wander the dungeons mourning the loss of her baby, which she murdered as it was sired by her own father. The White Lady, on the other hand, is said to be the spirit of Margaret Pomeroy, and is claimed to also haunt the dungeons, having been imprisoned there by her sister who was jealous of her beauty. Would you dare spend a night in the Pomeroy Castle dungeon? I wouldn't. Coming in at 2, the Langham Hotel. Located in the heart of London, the Langham Hotel was built all the way back in 1865, and due to various frightening events, it quickly became dubbed the most haunted hotel in England, with room 333 inhibiting the most ghosts. During the Great Depression, the hotel was hit hard, with the owners attempting to sell the site to the BBC, but to no avail. During World War II, the hotel was used in part by the army, until it was ultimately damaged by bombs and forced to close. Now some of the ghosts that reside in the the hotel include a doctor who murdered his wife and then killed himself while on their honeymoon, a German prince who jumped out of a 4th floor window, a man with a gaping wound on his face, Emperor Napoleon III, a ghost who has a thing for tipping guests out of bed while they're sleeping, a butler seen wandering the corridors in his holy socks, and a footman in pale blue livery and powdered wig. Yeah, there are a lot of spirits that supposedly reside in the Langham Hotel, with most of the aforementioned ghosts being spotted in room 333. Would you stay the night in that room? And finally, coming in at number 1, Borley Rectory. Aptly known as the most haunted house in England, Borley Rectory was a Victorian home built back in 1862 to house the rector of the parish of Borley and his family. However, in 1939 it was badly damaged in a fire before ultimately being demolished in 1944. Now, prior to that, it was alleged to be haunted from the day it was built, with reports spiking in 1929, resulting in paranormal researcher Harry Price writing 2 books supporting the claims of paranormal activity. The first paranormal event occurred in 1863, when a few locals reported hearing unexplained footsteps within the home, and on the 28th of July 1900, 4 daughters of the rector, Henry Dawson Ellis Bull, saw what they believed to be the ghost of a nun outside of the home, which, interesting fact, is what inspired the movie The Nun. They attempted to talk to it, but it disappeared as they got closer. Now, many locals insisted the ghost was that of a young woman who had tried to elope with a monk during the 13th century, but was ultimately caught. The monk in turn was executed by hanging, and the girl was reportedly caved in between the brick walls of the home where she died. If this legend doesn't scare you enough, paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren took one of the bricks of the rectory where it's housed in their museum in Connecticut. Well, there we have it. Do you guys agree with our list? Were there any haunted places that we missed? Leave us all your thoughts and feelings in the comments down below, as well as which country or region you would like us to tackle next. If you haven't already, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another scary vid. And until next time, see you later.